The State Security Agency has hit back after the DA accused the agency of hiding information relating to the unrest and looting that took place earlier this year. The agency says it has noted with concern a DA statement released yesterday and says the claim that the agency is hiding information is without any substance. Now, in July, the DA filed a Promotion of Access to Information Act request, requesting the agency to release intelligence reports relating to the unrest in KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng. This was after the Minister of State Security, Ayanda Dlodlo, said that the agency gave reports on the unrest to the police. But the Police Minister, Bheki Cele, denied this. He said he had never seen any such report. To discuss, we're joined by the Head of Communications at the State Security Agency, Mava Scott. Mr. Scott, thank you for being with us. You say you're not hiding this information, but you're not making it public. Just explain your stance.
In fact, I would like to start by saying that we can confirm that we received the application from the DA to the effect that we should release the intelligence information into the public. And as the agency, we duly declined to approve that for a simple reason that that kind of information would contaminate a process that has already been started, which I think South Africa is aware of, a process where both the President and Parliament have initiated investigations into circumstances that led to the unrest, but also to assess the response of government on this. So on the basis of that, we thought that it is not necessary to release that kind of information as requested by the DA.
But Mr. Scott, why do we as the people of South Africa have to wait for processes to be followed? The DA may have brought this application, but many of us are interested. Was there not intelligence reports? What did they say? Were they given to the police minister? There's huge public interest in this matter.
As I said, I know and I acknowledge the fact that there is huge public interest and we respect that. But as I mentioned, there are due processes that are underway. We don't want to contaminate those processes and to release information that may be half-baked at some point, or information that may not be verified, or information, that does not satisfy the public interest that we are talking about is not helpful. What has been launched or what has been announced is a process that's going to sit down at a strategic level to assess the information and process the information so that at the end of the day, they release a report that is credible, a report that South Africans can interact with. Yeah. So there is no rush.
No, but Mr. Scott, can I correct something now? The report isn't meant to be manipulated in any way. The report that is being discussed, or the reports, are the ones that the State Security Minister said had been given to the police at the time. So they are historical reports. They don't need to be prepared. They were prepared. Why does the public of South Africa have to wait for these processes to go ahead? Why can't we see that information?
There are processes in this country, especially
why the processes are priority. Why?
Can you please give me a chance to respond to your question? Sure. I'm saying there are processes in this country, legally so, which relate to intelligence information and information that the DA is looking for. And I can confirm with you that already interactions have happened between the State Security Agency and other intelligence outfits with the Joint Standing Committee on Intelligence about this information with a view to understand what really happened. But what I can also confirm with you is that the JSCI itself has confirmed that it will be undertaking its own review on this information. So we don't want to rush this. We want to ensure that the information is properly processed and at an appropriate level is then produced and released to the South African public. And in terms of the law, as I said, we cannot just go out and release information that is prohibited by law. We including the Access to Information Act or the PIA Act itself does have safeguards in terms of what kind of information we can release at what point. So we thought that at this point, we must allow the due processes to take effect and ensure that the information that goes out to the public has been processed accordingly.
And I understand sometimes the names of people have to be protected, certain information redacted from such intelligence reports, but surely that can be done. Okay, when could the public see these reports and understand the truth? Because again, you have two government ministers openly defying one another. Perhaps one of them is lying. We all want to know.
We hope and trust that the information will be processed expeditiously and that the two processes are going to unfold mindful of the time and the urgency that the South African public needs to get the report. Unfortunately, sitting here as the agency, I cannot give you timelines because this process does not reside with us. Of course, we will support the process as a stakeholder, but it is Parliament and the presidential process that will, at the end of the day, ensure that the reports go to the public. But we hope, as a stakeholder in the process, that the information and the reports will be processed expeditiously.
Okay, and can you say, as the State Security Agency, you are committed to being open with the public about what went on here, about why South Africa seemingly was unprepared, or show us that you were doing your job ahead of that unrest and looting?
We have already submitted information. In fact, we have engaged for a number of times with the Joint Standing Committee on Intelligence, exactly on this information. And I'm glad to mention that the DA...
Mr. Scott, I think you've muted yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can I ask you to wrap up quickly? We're running out of time. We didn't hear the last few sentences.
I'm saying that we are committed as a stakeholder in this process, and we've already interacted with the JSCI on this process, and we are glad that the processes have, been initiated, and we will give our support as the agency to the conclusion of the process.
All right, thank you. Head of Communications at the State Security Agency, Mava Scott.